First up, you have these nice, pretty much how can I say, these what do you call these? Uh, Hello, ladies and gentlemen, toy enthusiasts and those new to Tough Nerd Toys LLC. I'm your host, Uncle Nerd, and welcome to another exciting episode of Busted Open. Busting it open since 2007, and today we are going to review Super 7 Silverhawks Mon-star. Oh boy, this thing, as you can see, is already too big to fit inside of the window of my camera or inside of the lens of the camera right here, and this thing is a big boy. The box is bigger than most boxes. But it comes in a typical cardboard mailer box like this. Let me move this a little bit forward for you guys so you can see what's on it. Cardboard, cardboard, cardboard. You got legal mumbo jumbo on the back here. Super 7, choking hazards, and 14 plus. The addresses, barcode. If you want me to pause and scan that, you can. And that is it. The Silverhawks logo in the front and Mon-star word in the front, and that is it. You got a age 14 and Super 7 down here. So I'm going to take it out of the mailer box and I'm going to show you the package. And here we have the box right here, and take the plastic off right there. As you can see, it comes in the typical motif that they have going on with most of the Silverhawks right there, whereas though it is like a shiny metallic type of paint that they're using on here. You got the symbol of Mon-star's face right there. Let me bring it a little bit closer so you guys can see. It is done in a sleeve box like most of them are anyway. As you can see, this box is big. This is a big box right here. You got the Mon-star logo on the bottom right there, and across the back it says Silverhawks in raised lettering in nice foil. It is looking real good. You have some what's this, contents, and that is it. Well, you have raised lettering of Ultimates on the top right here. This box is real big. Let me bring it back so you guys can get a nice view of it. And inside of the box, this right here is a sleeve that goes over the window box to reveal the beautiful Mon-star, Doomstar of Limbo. And there you have Mon-star in all of his beautiful, stunning crimson glory right there, and it is big. I'm telling you, this is a big boy right here. And it comes in the typical standard box that you're getting like the Super 7 Silverhawks in. Right here, move it a little bit closer. It has Silverhawks right here in shiny foil type lettering, Mon-star at the bottom. Beautiful window box of all of Mon-star inside of the box. It looks absolutely beautiful. You got stars, whatever you want to call this, I guess lunar, whatever. Lunar specks or lunar stars going on right here. Red stars over here. On the back, you have a nice image of Mon-star looking brutal, looking very menacing as well. And over here, it says Mon-star is the head of the Limbo mob and functions as the local criminal kingpin. He's been around Limbo for over 300 years. He also has above normal strength, but when endowed with the light of the Limbo's Mon-star's body transforms and is entirely covered in or converted to the robotic armor. His strength is now many times greater than in his normal state. He has jets on his elbows that he can use to fly through space or fire red energy blasts. His most dangerous ability is his starlight blast that comes from what would normally be his eye patch. He has a personal vendetta against Stargazer and all who align themselves with the Silverhawks. Yeah, because Stargazer put him in prison. I remember the first episode was just awesome because that was when they had Stargazer finally caught Mon-star, and Mon-star was trying to make a deal with the prison guards to let him out. He was like, "Let the Moon-star shine in, and you will be rewarded wealth beyond wealth." I love that show. Honestly, I would actually say I actually It's a toss-up, but I think I like Silverhawks a little bit more than Thundercats, but I do love Thundercats. Don't get it messed up. And over here you have Super 7 at the top right there. And I think that is it for the box. Anything on the bottom? Yeah, you got Super 7 on the bottom right here. Legal Mumbo Jumbo and the barcode going on right there. I'm trying not to knock over the camera because this thing is big. It is very big. Ultimates at the top, if you can see it. And Super 7 up here in the corner where I showed you in ages 14 plus. So let's bust this guy open, and the nice little silver trim going around the box right here, the window box. So let's bust this guy open and see if Mon-star is worth the scratch. And here we have Mon-star outside of the package. As you can see, there's like tons of accessories right here. Like, that's one thing I love about Super 7. They do give you tons of accessories and stuff. And he seems like a very chunky, big figure. But as always, we're going to go over the accessories. So let me bring this a little bit closer so you guys can see. And yes, he's that big. I mean, he's a big guy. I'm telling you. We'll measure him towards the end of the video. First up, you have blast effects. You have these nice blast effects right here, done in a translucent plastic right there with pegs on. No, the peg is the whole bottom right here. Solid color, little bit of hues going on like that, so that you can kind of like look like a little bit cross between orange and red. Then you have these beautiful hands right here, multiple ones. They've given you a pointing finger. This is pretty much his trigger finger for what he uses for the fire his Star Lancer right here. Nice sculpting, pegs on the bottom, as you can see. No paint or anything. It's done in a solid red or everything. I think it was cast in this color, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you know, because it doesn't look like it's paint on here. So this is a solid, like the, what do you call it? Orange or red right there. And then you have these other hands as well. You know, different hands you have going on here. They're all pretty much the same in a way, but they, you know, all serve different purposes, as you can see. But great sculpting in here. You got the nice cybernetic look of the fingers with the claw look to it. Pegs on the bottom, as you can see, so you can get some, you know, plug hands in and out of there. Have the claw hand right here. These are good, as you can see. Nice peg on the bottom. Then you have this beautiful, absolutely look with some articulation this time, because remember the other one that came with Mon-star was like in his back position, like he was sleeping or something like that. But you have Sky Shadow right here looking real good. The wings articulated right here, so you know you got a little bit of movement right there. They can move separately, as you can see. Straighten this out. They can move separately, as you can see. You have some nice sculpting and paint apps going on here. His eyes look great. Feet are done nice and well. You got his little blasters under here and everything like that, because you know the Silverhawks theme was all of them had like birds or pets. You know, Steelheart and Stillwool created the birds and pets, the extra ones that were coming along and stuff like that. But these guys, he looks good. He looks good. Great line work on him. Made out of a nice solid hard plastic. All of these stuff that I've just shown you is made out of a nice solid hard plastic, except for the blast effects right here. Then you have the nice elbow blast effects right here. You know, when he's taking off, because he used to always fly with his elbows and everything. It's done in a translucent plastic, but a solid yellow plastic right here, as you can see. It looks really, really good. This is a really nice looking blast effect right here. It's done in two separate pieces of plastic with the pegs on the bottom, and there you have that. Then you have his Crimson Eye Beam right here. You can plug this right into the alternate head right here. We'll get to the alternate head in a minute. And there you go. Because the Crimson Eye does a variation of things. It can, like, you know, like hold people in place or pretty much paralyze them, or like, you know, you can like destroy things. He can destroy things with it. And his head sculpt is absolutely beautiful, man. Look at this head sculpt. It is gorgeous. This is a work of art right here. And it easily plugs in and it fits very snug. Since we have the head in the hand, we might as well go over it. You have the nice yellow teeth going on right here, the beautiful spiky head. Now the head is made out of a hard plastic, but at the same token, the spikes aren't pointy. So, I mean, you should be careful with them around kids, but they're not sharp like you would get with like Japanese figures or, you know, Asian figures or anything like that. Because Asian figures, they'll literally give you something that's dangerous. Because I remember with my, not that, you know, I digress. I remember with my Berserk action figure, it was real blades with that, like little knives that was made out of steel and everything. But Back to Mon-star right here. You have nice eye sculpt and face sculpt going on right there. Little yellows in the eyes right there. Orange around the spikes on his head. And you have the plug in the bottom so that you can swap these heads in and out. He is a beauty. And I mean, this is a beauty right here. Absolute beauty. Then you have the Star Lancer right here. And it looks real good. Made out of a hard plastic down here, but soft plastic up here. Paint apps are very nice on here, just like it is on this head right here. The paint apps are done very nice and even. It looks real good. A little bit of muddling going on right there, but not that much. You have the front of the weapon right here that you can fit the blast effect into. That's so. Right? No, you can't. Is it? No, you can't fit these in here. No, you can't. So you can't fit the blast effects in there, but you can definitely put this in his hand. Give me 1 second. And as you can see, he has a laser lance right here. You can fit it. Now, this is one thing I'm going to tell you right now. Because the plastic is very hard, I don't think this is going to break, but I wouldn't test it. Once you put this gun in his hand, it's a good idea to either leave it in his hand or take the whole hand out, but keep it in one of the hands. Because if you keep moving it and pulling it, moving it and pull it, I'm thinking that maybe this handle will break because the grips on this, the grip on this hand right here is very hard. All of the hands are very hard. Put it like this: they're harder than the gun right here. But the paint apps on here look great. Great sculpting within the laser lance. I called it a Star Lance, but it's called the laser lance. I've forgotten. Right here. I'm loving it. It is a very big lance too. I would say like this thing is at least as tall as Mon-star himself. You got some sculpting in the back of the handle and everything right there. Now, I think I went over all of the accessories, so let's get that out the way. Let's bring this boy right here. Now, how am I going to show you this guy in its entirety so you guys can really appreciate how beautiful he is? Okay, so I'm going to bring him a little bit close like that. And so at some points, I'm going to take the camera around him because he is very tall. I would say he's at least like, we'll measure him at the end, but I think he's at least like 10 inches tall. 10 inches tall, and he's a very hefty figure. But as far as, enough about that. He is a beauty right here. Literally cartoon accurate Mon-star right here. You got the nice looking face right here. The nice little Frankenstein or giant mech robot going on in the back. Nice plating sculpted onto him. He looks really good. The thighs are done perfectly. I've always loved the underwear section where he had the big barrel chest. You know what I'm saying? The knee pads with the orange and black in them look great. You got the robotic feet, which represent his clawed feet or pretty much his paws or whatever the case may be. The spikes on his ankles right there looking real good. Great sculpting all along this guy. I love the metallic sculpting. Now, no, there's no shiny paint or anything like that, which I think is absolutely good. And I'll get to that later. I'll talk to you why I think the paint that they're using on the Silverhawks are pretty good. Now, there's a little bit of bend right here in the spike on his head, but you can remedy that with a little bit of heat if you know what you're doing. You got some nice sculpting within the elbows and the inner arm right there. Hands look great. Everything looked real good on this guy right here. You can plug these jet boosters, his thrusters. He used to fly. I used to love how he used to fly, man. I used to love how he used to fly. Everything about this cartoon was so obscure and weird, but that's what made it work. Because, I mean, when you think about it, he had a flying squid or octopus as his steed. You know what I mean? Like, it was just awesome, man. It was just real awesome. He looks good. This guy is fitting very, very nice. He is looking very, very good. It's a beautiful figure. Got some pegs on the bottom. What you got over here? Anything on the back? Yeah, you got the ball joints along the knees right here. But the knee pads and the legs look amazing, man. And the sculpting in his middle crotch area, like in his crotch area and in his abdomen, look really good. You know what I mean? Mon-star. He looks great. And he is a big boy. Let's look at that face. That face is something to behold. And yes, you can swap the heads back and forth, but I mean, like, you know what I'll do? I'll show you what the head looks like when he has the Crimson Ray head on. 1 second. Let me pull this off. Let me see how easy it is to pull this off. And the head actually came off real fast. I mean, it was easy to pull it off, which is good. You don't want to do a lot of tugging and pulling with these toys, and they fit on really good. Here he is with the Now let's plug this in. There, it fits in real nice. He looks really, really good. Now, as far as articulation goes, you gotta give me a little bit with this. His head can his head go all the way? Yes, the head can go all the way around. Now, these arms, don't even ask me. You already know these arms are not going around because this right here, his shoulder pads, or his pauldrons, they are not going to allow that. But you got some nice range of motion. I mean, it's Mon-star. It really shouldn't be that much movement you're doing with him. But he does, for a big guy, he has, in a big figure, he does have a lot of, he has some great articulation. Right here, let me pull these out. You know, you can get some bend going on, single hinge joint going on at the elbow, on a ball joint, twist and pivoting at the wrist. You have to loosen this up in here. Right in here, give it a little bit of heat, it'll loosen up. You have let me see, you got some twisting at the upper torso right here. You have, yes, you have waist twist going on. Does he has a nice leg split, bending at the knee on a ball joint, as you can see, knee on a ball joint at the thigh right here. Nice looking guy right here. Twisted and pivoting at the ankle. The typical articulation that you get with most action figures right about now, you know. But I mean, like, he's very, like, he has good articulation for a big guy, you know what I mean? Knee bends pretty good. Nice cut at the knee. I'm glad the Super 7 is starting to do that. And you can get him in some nice, funky poses. He looks absolutely great. I tried to give you guys as much of him to see as I can, but he's so big, and you'll see after this, he's so big to where, so, like, I mean, that's all I could, like, really fit into the camera. Let me try to pull it back some so you guys can see. Now, as far as Skyrunner, right? Now, Skyrunner's not going to fit on, Sky Shadow is not going to fit on his arm like the other Silverhawks guys. You can place him on there, but he's just going to, like, perch on it. You just got to sit it on there. It's not like you're going to be running around with him or anything like that, or like flying him around, because it doesn't clip in where his claws are. Where Sky Shadow's claws are, it's not going to clip in. But you can perch him on top of here, as you can see right there. You can perch him on there, and he sits on really, really, really good. But this guy is an absolute beauty. I think I went over everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you guys some pictures, and I will be right back with my final thoughts. So as a whole, I think Mon-star is absolutely stunning. It is cartoon accurate. It is beautiful. The thighs are on by ball sockets right here with pegs, as you know, but it's done out of a solid material. But at the same token, I do have an issue with that because I don't know what type of plastic they're using, but it's like it feel like it's like ceramic plastic or something like that. Because if you drop, I'm not saying you're going to purposely drop these, but it's inevitable sooner or later, like if, especially if you're handling him. I will tell you this much. The Silverhawks are a completely different plastic from the ones that they have, right? That they made Mon-star with. He has a different plastic, and I'm kind of worried a little bit that if he just hits the ground, and it's not like I'm throwing my toys on the floor, but I'm sometimes a little clumsy, whatever the case may be, that it would break or shatter because it just feels like a certain type of plastic. Now, as far as construction and aesthetic, it is absolutely beautiful. It's a sturdy figure. There was a little bit of paint chippage over here when I started moving the arm. It's black and so on and so forth. And at the ankles, he's a little weak too. So, I mean, like, you know, Super 7 kind of like, see, you see? And I didn't even touch him. So you're going to have to like either put some like, you know, some stiffener on the ankles to get him to stay up or whatever the case may be. Beautiful figure, but I mean like for the price point that they're asking, because see, like, look right here. There's some paint that started chipping out of nowhere when I just started moving his arm and everything. And the ankles have an issue. The ankles have a serious issue. As you can see, like there's getting paint all over my studio area, like black paint and stuff like that. It is a beautiful figure. It is a beautiful figure. Is it made for a lot of play? I don't think so, especially not for kids. Kids will destroy this thing within less than a day. Um, Great figure. Great figure. I'm not telling you not to buy this, but understand like you're going to have some issues. Look at all of that. Look. Right there. Look at all of that. That's all paint chippage right there. So, I mean, you know, it's a beautiful figure, but you're just going to have to like, I'm not going to lie to you. I want you guys to get an honest, review from me and know I wasn't giving this stuff from the company or anything like that. Mouse Type bought this for me. Mouse Type got me the whole set. It is absolutely beautiful. But for me, I know it's going up on the shelf. And yeah, I have to also contact Super 7 about my Mum-Ra head right here because it bounced off the sofa. I put it on the sofa. I didn't throw it or anything like that. It bounced off the sofa and his horn just broke off. So I'm going to contact them and let them know. I heard they're very good about replacing things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to contact them. But they need to start doing a little bit better construction on with the, I don't know what they're doing, but it's not, I'm not telling you not to get it, but for that price point, you should be having everything in order. But this guy is coming in at about, let me see. Oh boy. 11 inches over here looking like for me. That's with the spike on the top of his head. That's how tall he is. He's a very, very big boy. He's a very big boy. Here he is next to himself right here. Pre-transformation, Mon-star. And that looks great. That looks great. I'm actually glad that we got, pre-transformation Mon-star before we got big Mon-star. This is cool. This is cool. It looks good right there. And yeah, he's supposed to be that big. Everybody was like, oh, Mon-star. Yeah, Mon-star was big. Here he is next to Mum-Ra, as you can see. And he towers over Mum-Ra. I didn't expect him and Mum-Ra to be the same size anyway. Here he is next to one of his boys he can't stand. Steel Will. Looking great. But look how big he is at Steel Will. He is a monster. Literally monster. Now, what I wanted to do is see if, which I highly doubt, due to the engineering and the construction on the legs right here, I highly doubt he can sit down in his throne. I don't think, no. Let's see. Nah. Even if I twist this is the most you're gonna get right here. Yeah. Yeah, nah. Okay. Turn this a little bit to the... Nah. He's not going it. I mean, somewhat, but you never really saw him sitting in a chair when he was Mon-star. You know what I'm saying? He was usually standing up and walking like a monster and shit. Like, I love the music they used to play whenever he would transform. Like, boom, 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 boom. man, I used to love this right here. And you know, for another size comparison, I will show you what he looks like next to a Naughty Viper. Right there, let's move this out the way. Here he is next to a Naughty Viper. Big, right? And here he is next to the Lord of the Thundercats, Lion O. You know what my theory was? I always thought that Mon-star was a renegade Thunderian from the old ages. Because when you look at him, he does have, like, you know, those kind of like cat-like, or like the early Thundera, late early Thundera cat-like features. You know what I'm saying? Like what was his name? Gosh, I forgot his name. But like the main villain, he looks like a Thunderian. So I always felt as though he was banished from Thundera, and they just pretty much, like, you know, he just started running him up because he was so mad, you know, so bad on Thundera. They banished him from there and just threw him out into the galaxy, and he's just, you know, I don't know. I had a whole story dredged up in my head as a kid how Mon-star got there, because I've always loved the villains within the series. But this guy is absolutely a must-buy. Let me see. For the price point, he's a big, chunky figure. You should definitely pick him up. But at the same token, you should also handle it with caution. I'm not saying it's ultra fragile, but it is a piece that, I don't know. You just can't, I don't think you're going to get, you know, you should be having this playing around with it too much, or whatever the case may be. Me, myself, I'm going to pose him in everything as I did in the picture, so on and so forth. But he is a nice piece right there. He is a big boy. So I mean, you know, thanks again, Mouse Type, for donating this wave 1 and wave 2 of Silverhawks to me. I don't know what I did to deserve it. You said you like my reviews, and I greatly appreciate it. We got a bunch of reviews coming up because good old Count Kenny sent me some stuff in the mail that he wants me to review, and it will be up along with my good friend Fierce Play, aka Jeffrey Cummings. I don't know if he wants me to say his name on here. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that brings this review to a close. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and share this video. And remember, when you buy a toy, what do? You Doomstar of Limbo. Give me the might, the muscle, the menace of Mon-star. All right. Well, you know what? Before we go, I have new tiers of subscriptions. So if you want to help out the channel, help me pay some bills, help me get some more action figures, there are different tiers with different perks. Check it out. Let me know what you think of them. And I would definitely accommodate the perks and the tiers. Well, you know, pick whatever tier you want. Just helps out the channel, helps me bring more action figures, and so on and so forth. And yeah, there's so much to choose from over there. And we also have a Discord for video gaming. So check out TOUGHNERDTOYS Gaming as well. Okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that brings this review to a close. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and share this video. And remember, when you buy a toy, what do? Bust it open.